I'm Dr. Jeff Block, and this is Nurturing Nature with Doc Block. This short little video is going to be about growing anthuriums like a pro, but you don't have to be a pro to grow it. This is going to be mostly for people who are novices or intermediate in what you think you know about how to grow plants, and I think it's going to be helpful for you succeeding with the velvet-leafed anthuriums. Gardening is among the world's most favorite hobbies, with 55% of American households accounting for 185 million active gardeners. There's a human need to nurture the nature not only of people, but also plants. As our ancestors evolved in prehistoric times, early human beings likely recognized that a profound relationship exists between plants and health. Ancient healers were among the earliest of civilization's most accomplished botanists and would have been regarded poorly if they failed to keep their plants alive. In the plant kingdom, aroids include over 100 genera, one of which is the Anthurium genus that I regard as being among the most regal of aroids. The Anthurium hybrids I've curated originated in South America's tropical jungles. Anthuriums make wonderfully exotic indoor plants. They boast leathery leaves that are heart-shaped and display dynamic reflective velvety sheen colors, often with contrasting leaf veins that can mesmerize us. I've grown ornamental plants in South Florida for over 50 years and dedicated much of my breeder's passion concerning rare velvet-leafed anthuriums, in large part because I found them to be not only magnificently exotic plants, but also an excellent choice among indoor plants. Velvet-leafed anthuriums are considered epiphytes. That means they prefer to grow up and onto supporting trees and larger plants. Because they've evolved to grow up into the trees, air circulation needs to be optimal. Excellent ventilation is essential for good anthurium health. Although they can tolerate ranges of humidity and air temperatures, these plants are tropical and prefer humidity levels between 60 and 90%, and temperatures also, coincidentally, between 60 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 16 to 30 degrees Celsius. Warmer temperatures generally require higher corresponding humidity levels to counteract the evaporative water losses at those increased air temperatures. Conversely, cooler temperatures will cause more leaf damage if your anthurium's root systems are not adequately hydrated. Because they've evolved in the lowest shaded levels of tree canopies, anthuriums require protection from direct sunlight and can acclimate to the lower light levels seen in indoor settings near windows. Generally, full-spectrum indirect light is well tolerated. Because velvet-leafed anthuriums naturally come from near the equator, providing 12 hours of light throughout the year makes evolutionary sense. Potted plants do not offer an unrestricted space to grow. Their roots grow into the confines of a decidedly unnatural pot. When the roots have nowhere else to go, they'll eventually, in a sense, choke off the plant and the plant will start to decline. When it's time to remove, a larger pot will usually produce a larger plant. It's best to start with an actively growing, well-rooted plant that will quickly extend its roots into a new larger pot's fresh media. The choice of media generally correlates with how much ambient water and humidity is present. The media I use in humid South Florida is a 3-part mix consisting of coconut coir, coarse perlite, and pine bark. Although anthuriums need excellent drainage and aeration of their roots, drier indoor conditions may benefit from media that holds a little more water, while in wet, humid settings such as Florida, media that's more easily dries out is preferred. The method I prefer is to remove the plant to be repotted and to dust its roots off with hormondin before placing it into a larger pot. The new roots provide extra space, and they should gently be filled using a similar media to what the smaller plant was already growing in. I'll then add a surface application of a little long-acting, slow-release balanced fertilizer, such as Dynamite or Nutricoat, that are chemically released. However, in the summertime, I actually prefer to use Osmocoat because it's released only when temperatures exceed 80 degrees or 26 centigrade. I'll generously water in anthuriums and place them back to where they came from. Ideally, the timing of potting up plants should occur at the beginning of growing seasons to minimize root shock and failure to thrive. Medical science and agricultural science share many of the same basic health and wellness tenets. Although many of us started working with plants as collectors, it's far more important to first learn how to sustain plants than to simply regard them as expendable because there are more available to collect. Eventually, the collector will also run out of space, so sustaining special selections is the ultimate goal when a collector responsibly evolves to become one of nature's noble custodians. Plant health and wellness follows much of the same common sense wisdom that human health and wellness relies on. We've touched on the consequences of diseases and pests by emphasizing the importance of careful horticultural observations and the early detection of problems. Indeed, we learn more from our failures than our successes, so don't dismay if a plant is lost. But do be dismayed if you don't know why an anthurium didn't thrive or may have died. Read books, study online resources, and perhaps most important, find mentors who help guide you as they've helped guide me to what I learned to speak about today. The healing arts will ultimately prevail in that without horticultural knowledge and the ability to sustain plant-derived remedies, many of the world's healers would have lost their medicinal plant formulary and most certainly would have failed at their craft, not only as a healer, but also as a farmer. Along with my wife, Michelle, we've raised our sons to become healthy young men, and this is life's reward for parents. Nurturing a plant's nature to grow seeds into specimens can be an equally gratifying experience, so please have fun playing with plants, make new friends, while comparing notes to succeed with sustaining the wonderfully regal velvet-leafed anthuriums.